Hey, what's up everyone? Saul here with another SAT Solve Live. Today I'll be going over the digital SAT official practice test number 4 on the Blue Book app. I have never seen this test before, so it will be my first time working through these problems. Although that said, I did solve the linear PDF practice tests and there are some overlapping questions, so that does mean I might have seen some of these questions before. So take that part with a grain of salt. I would say, though, generally speaking, it's hard for me to remember the answers to a question after only solving it once. So it will be more or less like I'm seeing it for the first time. All right, so with that out of the way, let me share some tips for watching this stream. These streams can get long, so I would have you consider using keyboard shortcuts while watching my video. You can speed up the video, you can skip between the chapters. Click on this description below and you can see the keyboard shortcuts. I've also timestamped chapters for each section of the test based on my analysis of the digital SAT reading and writing. For each test, there are 2 modules, and within each module, there are 5 sections that I can see. I call them vocab, analysis, reasoning, grammar, and expression in that order. If you want to review the questions section by section after watching my stream, you can use my question database, which you can find the link for in the description below. Just note that my database is a work in progress, so it's not a perfect thing. Also, if you have any feedback, I'd be happy to hear it. Finally, if you are studying for the digital SAT and you want to meet some other people like you, you can join our community on Discord. You can ask questions and get some answers from me and from your peers for free. You can also get some tutoring from your peers as well. Just don't be an asshole. That's the main thing. We don't like assholes. So if you've been eyeing that subscribe button, go ahead and click it. I'll see you guys in future videos with more digital SAT content, with more college applications content, although I think with it being January 1st, Happy New Year, everyone, most of that will be done, and with more literature readings to come. All right, guys, let's get into the test itself. Wrong view. There we go. It is evening right now, 8 p.m. for me in Korea. I'm a little mellow feeling right now. Feel a little fuzzy. And this whole last 2 weeks, I've been so sleep deprived that I have no idea whether I'm going to be able to give you a perfect performance. But no excuses. Let me get that 54 out of 54. All right, we're going to get started now. And here we go. Pay. Such concerns didn't stop his efforts to promote the paying. That's hinder. Yeah. Didn't stop him. I'm 100% on that. The artisans, actually, I didn't even double check the other answers. Yeah. The artisans, I'm looking at the left side and I forgot that I want to zoom in so you can see where I'm looking. The artisans typically blank the techniques that have been passed down. They don't strictly observe it all, but now they use, typically adhere to. Oh, wow, that was not what I was thinking. I did not see that, by the way. Where science fiction tropes exist, as everyday realities, it's time traveler's quest. Wow, I'm zoning out. I'm finding it hard to connect the science fiction, but it was to the time traveling because the journey at the novel center is so time spacey, trippy, crazy, right? We're looking for something crazy, haphazard. We're ricocheting chaotically, so must be haphazard. Yeah, just double checking the other ones. All right, moving on. We got Jeremy and colleagues not only use a strategy to escape stimuli, but also switch strategies. They changed their minds. Demonstrates that they might be limited to like limiting behaviors, simple behaviors, rudimentary behaviors. That's correct. Some historians suggest that experience an economy of scale when it comes to food purchases. Assume, suppose, assume, surmise. Okay, surmise. Just double checking the other ones. That supposition was a tip there. The following text is adapted from the play RUR. They're telling Miss Glory why their company manufactures robots. One robot can be 2.5. Modern engineering, modern labor. Oh, okay, we're looking for, it no longer, fulfills the requirements. Oh, there we go. That's exactly the word I predicted. Amelia Kwan set out to build a helicopter. It's only 1% as dense, so not a lot of resistance. So they created a lab with longer blades and faster rotation, because the atmosphere is the A is the only answer, right? Pretty straightforward. I have seen this one before. Jollies have been keepers of information. They serve as teachers, advisors. Technology may have changed some aspects, but they continue to be valued. The main idea is that jollies play a role that's, the same of being historians. That is A. Yep. Now we're going to Buck. I've seen this one as well. Is a sled dog living with Thornton. Thornton alone held Buck. The rest of mankind was nothing. As nothing. He was cold to other travelers. When the partners arrived, he refused to notice them till they were close to Thornton. Then he tolerated them. He was loyal to Thornton. It's kind of a strange way, in higher regard, but yeah, I guess it's the only it's the only it's the only answer that talks about Buck focusing on Thornton. Yep, I just had to double check the other ones. Going back to Souls of Black Folk. Upon hearing black folk songs, he felt an intuitive and sometimes unexpected sense of cultural recognition. So we're looking for like a word or phrase with like, I felt connected to it somehow. Not through my brain, just through my intuition. Yeah, that's B right away. And this was pretty easy because only B is the one that talks about how he directly reacts. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Female farmers are greater than 50%, interestingly, in North and South Ondo for non-root vegetables. Mountainous, urbanized, and coastal. In some regions, female farmers were especially prominent in some types of crops, even constituted the majority. For instance, the majority in North and South, most of the farmers who mainly cultivated non-root vegetables were women. That's exactly what I predicted. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to even bother with A, B, and D because that that completely completes that argument. Fitzgerald's writings were influenced by Zelda. They don't recognize Zelda. I've seen this one before. She authored several works herself. She wrote, those who view Zelda as only primarily an inspiration ignores her works, ignores her B, there we go. Ignores her actual works. Yep, I had to just double check the other ones, but B is correct. Herbivorous sauropod dinosaurs could grow 100 feet, 80 tons, massive sizes, plant production, lots of CO2, no evidence of CO2 levels with... Okay, so there's no correlation there in the data. At 3 different locations, there's no carbon dioxide level. So that fluctuations in the carbon dioxide level affected... Nope, not different. We're looking for just, they're not correlated. We just want them to not be correlated. This is the opposite of this argument could be correlation, not causation. This is logically not a great, but I guess we have the word suggesting, so I guess that's why we get off on it. Suggesting that the evolution of larger body sizes did not depend on, because they were not correlated. Sure. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Known for her massive paintings, floating, swimming, was the logical... Are we in grammar? Oh, we're on grammar. Rawls was the logical... So yeah, we just have no comma there because we have the verb. Hidalgo Tan was visiting Angkor Wat when he noticed markings of red paint on the temple walls. And there's another subject he discovered, so we have to have a break. There we go. He discovered, so there we go. Chung Dong and her colleagues recently ran simulations to determine the extent to which individual snow grains, physical properties Yeah. I don't know why I like tripped out on this for a second. It makes no sense. All right. January 9th, what's up? I have no idea what January 9th is. Mission 66. Approved by Congress. Oh, you're talking about, that's always, that's just how iPad works. iPad and, they don't want to share, it's an Apple feature. They try to protect your privacy by always making it the same date, same hour. Mission 66 initiative, which was approved by Congress 1956, represented a major investment in the infrastructure of national parks. It prioritized. So we need to have we need to separate the sentences somehow. Progressive era witnessed the rise of clubs, these organizations. Among the club's leaders was Ruffin. Ruffin was among the leaders. Okay, so that's Eli Eisenberg recently discovered that cephalopods, or dash, have a special genetic ability. Include this. Okay, just double checking A, B, and C, but they're all wrong. I guess I should use this feature, right? Yeah, that's missing. Anyway, that just makes things slower. All right. A model created by this predicts the rate at which new species form on an isolated... Wait. Whoa. A model created by him, predicts that the rate of speciation on an island located approximately 5,000 kilometers from near, predicts that the rate of speciation will be triple the rate of speciation on an island only 500 kilometers. Okay. Predicts that it will be. Interesting. I feel like a lot of kids will struggle on that one. Not sure. McFerrin considers the research she conducts on destinations to be its own reward. She admits to finding the research just as fascinating. In fact, oh, there we go. In fact. Yep. In fact. Bharati Mukherjee, author, holder of the world. I should zoom in. What am I doing? Central in the 20th century United States versus a woman in 17th century India. Two different characters. We want to introduce the novel to someone who already knows who she is. So we don't want to. We want to talk about the holder of the world. There we go. Yep. And that is the novel. Right, and then we have pterosaurs, flying reptiles, 20 millions of years ago. Analyze the jawbones. Were they juvenile or adult? We used techniques to determine that had few growth lines compared to fully grown, so she thought it was juveniles. So we're trying to present the study and the findings. In 2021, this Chinsami Turan analyzed these things, and she determined that because of the growth lines, they must be juveniles. Nope. That is D. Okay. We want to introduce Samuel Selvin, but let me just read this. The Lonely Londoners is one of his most celebrated novels. In 1956, it's about a man from the Caribbean to Great Britain. Okay. Also appear in the later novel. Okay, so we want to talk about The Lonely Londoners, about a group of men who emigrate to Great Britain after World War II. We're also trying to introduce Samuel Selvin, which A also does. I didn't see that part of the question, but that's correct. C is not introducing him at all, so that's A. Moving on, we got 7 species of sea turtle, 5 of them in the Atlantic, one called the Ridley Sea, and another is the Olive Ridley Sea. Okay, we're talking about 2 of them in the Atlantic. A similarity, they're both Ridley sea turtles. They both start with Lepidopilus. Yeah, sure. They're both also in the Atlantic. I guess that's the similarity. Yep. And then right now we have studying the effect of wind on auk. I don't know what that is, but sure. Auk success in landing. Okay, they're birds, I guess. They found as wind conditions intensified, they needed more attempts. Almost 100%, but in a strong breeze, 40%, only 20%. That makes sense. So, it varies from 100 to 20% depending on the wind. That is D. Just double checking the other ones real quick. Yep. And then we got Paradise. Hang on, let me just read this first. We got AG, Nobel Prize, Zanzibar, UK, Paradise, historical novel, colonial East Africa. we're introducing Paradise specifically to people unfamiliar with the novel and the author, so we're going to mention the author as well. That is Introducing Paradise, was written by, another person. Okay, that's almost certainly C. And the other ones don't really introduce Paradise or the author or... Yeah, I'm just getting a little distracted right now. Yeah, this assumes the author, and then this. I don't need to review any of that because I was pretty confident on all of them. Let's see if my arrogance comes to bite me in the butt, but I think I should be good. In studying the use of external stimuli to reduce the itching, harmless applications of vibrational warming can provide a temporary. Such seemingly harmless stimuli actually offer less relief than a mild electric shock. Seemingly harmless, innocuous. It's ultimately deceptive, but that's not the context here, so we don't want to choose that. I wish it would say the word seemingly at some point, but it doesn't say seemingly. It's kind of an awkward, honestly, it's an awkward sentence when they don't say the word seemingly. Whatever. Many studies of the effect of high altitude. There's a lack of studies on the effect of blood chemistry. Below sea level. Okay, there's a paucity of. This was kind of you kind of have to know the opposites. You have to be able to at least eliminate these other ones, or you should know the word paucity. That one's a straight up vocabulary question. Whether the reign of Hugh Capet or Henry I was important or not, the trajectory was shaped by questions of legitimacy and therefore cannot be understood without correlating that allowed the monarch to legitimize his right, to buttress his right to hold the throne. Yep. Cool. We got Hesong Jung. Yeah, what's up, Korea? 2020, individual acts of kindness can increase prosocial behavior. Who witness become more likely. There we go. Increase. Inspire. Increase. Foster. There we go. We got Indian Boyhood. We got a memoir. We got a writer, a Native American writer. We got Woman in the Tribe. Harvested Oyesa. Oh, it's not. It's a memoir. Oh, dude, I'm starting to zone out right now. Whoa, give me a sec. Deep breath. Sit up straight. Harvested maple syrup. Okay. Test them. Axe. Strike. Sap. The trees, like people, have their individual characters. Some are reluctant, others are more ready, and some are reluctant. Okay, there we go. You know, we're describing how the different trees react. So let's talk about that. I guess that's D. Wait, that's clearly ridiculous. All right. Charlotte Bronte, 1847. Oh, I continue to zone out. We're working as a governess at the hall. Ever and anon, vague suggestions kept wandering across my brains of reasons why I should quit Thornfield. I've seen this one before. And I kept thinking about new situations. I did not stop these thoughts. I would let them grow. We do get the calmness over here, but we get the internal turmoil. Sure, that's A. Determination is a little awkward. It's involuntary. Yeah. Oh, you have problems with vocab? I mean, the question to really identify for yourself is whether it's actually vocabulary or logic. Like, can you even make a prediction that is accurately the right word, but you just happen to not know what the word is, or can you not even make the prediction at all? So the first step is to figure out where your weakness is actually. It might actually be the logic, not the vocabulary. That's your problem. Joni Mitchell uses images to emphasize ideas. Cool. For Turbulent Indigo, she had a self-portrait, which calls attention to the title song in which she talks about Van Gogh. She connects herself to Van Gogh. Sure. So the overall structure is we have this claim, then we have an example, and we elaborate on that example. Then sure, that's definitely A. We don't even have to see the other ones. Yeah. Okay, function of the underlying. A study by finance professors suggests that too much sunshine can make you lead overly optimistic. That's hilarious. The team compared over 29,000 annual earnings forecasts. The greater the amount of sunshine, the more they exceeded what they actually earned. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So the data spanning. So this is the methodology slash where they got their data to present a methodology. Yeah. Uh, we can regenerate. It turns into a new worm. Humans' limited ability to regenerate. Ooh, and they're making exciting progress. That sounds creepy as hell. Both humans and that's so gross. Uh, we both have EGR. Well, functions very differently. It functions as a switch, but how it operates in Korea, in when did College Board start putting my name down there? I don't think that was always there. That's like annoying. It's like slightly annoying. Why are they doing that? Okay, anyway. Um, we're trying to get text two uh, about text one. Yeah, chill out is basically overly optimistic. Yeah, like chill out, given the additional observations from the Shrivastava, right? Shrivastava says that it functions differently. Yeah. I'm just briefly checking the other ones, but yeah, it's all of those aren't negative enough. Looking over here, bunch of film credits. Ugh, tired. Some researchers studying indigenous actors and filmmakers have turned their attention to the early days of cinema. Were involved with numerous films, 1910s, 1920s. These are all 1910s and 20s. So many films have been lost that the four figures should be taken as minimums. It's possible that we did more, that these people did more than these numbers. So first of all, fewer, 30, that makes no sense. Far more, let's see, we're looking for something like far more. Let me just double check. 66. Lillian Saint Cyr got 66, and Edwin Carraway directed more than 58. That's definitely, actually, that has nothing to do with anything here. It is definitely C. That one's weirdly The structure of that question is weird because you could actually answer it without even looking at the graph. It's kind of poor. It's like too easy. Mosasaurs were large reptiles. I'm losing track. I'm getting tired. They lived in the late Cretaceous period, sure. We examined the oxygen 18 isotopes in the tooth, and they're endothermic. They, use internal metabolic processes, sure. Are we endothermic? I'm not a biology person. Are human beings endothermic? I think we are, right? Because exothermic is like lizards and stuff. Suarez claimed that endothermy would have enabled them to live in cold polar waters. So to support them, we just need to find the mosasaur fossils in the cold areas. So let's find them. What? Near the poles? I'm looking at this right now, but body temperatures, this is random, have been found in regions near the poles, while relatively few fossils, non-endothermic. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. And B says of both, which makes no sense. It's the opposite of what you want. Seawater temperatures were higher near the seawater temperatures, including the poles. That's completely off. Yeah. Moving on to 11. Lots of people reporting directly to the CEO. A large number of companies. Growing interest among CEOs in connecting with more departments. They got connected to more department leaders. Sure. From 1991 to 2008, lots of growth. For both managers and department leaders. It's kind of like the answer was clearly, it's such an obvious graph, but then the answer choices are just sort of annoying. That was just sort of annoying to go through. Can I make a video on overall? Yeah, I can, and I will. It's coming. I'm just like stupid busy right now, but once I finish these practice tests, I have a lot of stuff to share about the digital SAT, so it's all coming. Given that stars and planets initially formed from the same gas and dust, we posited that the stars and their planets are composed of the same materials, with the planets containing equal or smaller quantities. Sure, the composition is slightly different, but that's it. That the rocky planets in our solar system are composed of this, sure. And we're trying to weaken their claim. We're trying to say maybe some non-rocky planets. Hang on. Or maybe there's unique materials in some of the stars. I just, I was just looking at C, considerably higher, and I said, wait, did they ever look at smaller, but composed of the same materials with equal or smaller quantities? But what the hell? What does equal or smaller even mean? That sounds like we're talking about proportions, aren't we? It's like a weird logic. Like, how can you have smaller quantities only if? I guess because nothing's bigger than the star. All right, fine, whatever. Yeah, so C flips it. We don't know anything about iron silicate. Do we know anything about iron and silicate? Do we know anything about iron and silicate? No, we don't. Same proportion? No, that's the opposite of what we want. Why is this stupid thing not working? The method for determining the composition. The method is no. Okay, so only C works. Okay. Okwe Onwezer encountered few works by African artists despite the reputation, and sure, Weiser sought to remedy this deficiency not by focusing solely on modern artists, but by showing how their work fits into the larger global art context and the art history context. So we need a finding to support this claim that he tries to fit it into the larger context of history and the globe. Weiser, as a curator, organized a retrospective of a Ghanaian sculptor, one of the largest, devoted to largest is off topic. Weiser brought African artists such as, together with from other countries, that seems connected, global, showed how African movements for independence from profoundly influenced work by African artists of the period. Only African artists, though. Because we're saying not by only focusing on modern African artists, but how it connects to global modern art and art history. And this one's just talking about history. Kind of awkward, but yeah. Yeah, this is how history affected specifically that period. Okay, yeah. D says, broad range of photography. This is too focused on photography, so this is the only one that talks about major artists from global art. And then the art history, I guess that's like 1945, 1965, I guess. Yeah. I did the work of eliminating everything, so I'm confident on that one. I feel a little iffy, but I guess there's no other answer choice. Should I double check this later? Might as well. I'll mark it for review. One challenge when researching whether holding office changes the behavior. Control group. To reveal the effect of holding office, they must compare people who hold office with people who don't hold office but are otherwise similar to. Right, that is hard. Since researchers are unable to control which politicians win elections, they therefore struggle to have. How do you compare someone who's similar to an office holder but do not hold office? That doesn't make any sense. Previous only is a little strong, but that kind of makes sense. Yeah, they will find it difficult to identify control group. Yeah, that sounds, yeah. Okay, had to just process that one. Compiled in the late 1500s, largely through the efforts of indigenous scribes, Cantares Mexicanos. The poems portray Aztec society before the occupation, and the marginal notes indicate that much of the content predates the invasion. Cool. Nonetheless, they do contain references to beliefs and customs common in Spain. Thus, some scholars have concluded that some, as opposed to much, some parts of it were produced afterwards, while its content largely predates. That has to be A. Although those who no, that's language. The poets borrowed no, because that would be insane, because they didn't even come. And the reference to coincidental, no. Literary traditions? Yeah, that's not literary. Okay. To humans, are we in grammar? Yeah, we are. To humans, it does not appear that the golden orb weaver uses camouflage to capture his prey. Rather, Ooh, I just predicted that. Rather, the arachnid seems to wait. Yeah, that you should separate the rather that way because those are two different main clauses. Alexandrina, how have I been? Yes, I've been able to sleep a little. I slept probably 10 hours 2 nights in a row, which is way more than I was getting the previous 2 weeks. Bonnie Barati collects data. Wait, analyzes data. Well, I should stop predicting. Studies data. Was studying data when she made, right? When she made. I was looking for that when she made. Was studying data when she made this discovery. A clipper ship called the Flying Cloud entered San Francisco. Having left, I think this main clause over here, the celebrated ship said a thing. So, having left harbor under the guidance of him and his wife, a mere 89, the celebration, yeah, that's a new sentence. That's B. Bengali author Toru Dutz. Something their understand has enhanced, because we're talking about a book, a specific book, has enhanced their understanding. Sure. So that's A. By the way, Happy New Year, everyone who's watching. This is how I spend the first day of 2023. I come on YouTube and I solve some test questions. Is this symbolic of something? What is this? Hegra is an archaeological site in Saudi Arabia. Archaeologist Neme recently traveled to Hegra to study its ancient somethings. Tombs. To study its ancient tombs built into the rocky outcrops of vast. Oh, wait, there's a new sentence. Chinese American screen actor Anime Wong finally got a starring role in Daughter Shanghai, a film that critic Stina Chin claims expanded. A film that she claims expanded. Wait. That comma, but there is no comma in this case. Yeah. Okay. This is essential, so we're good. Oh, this is easier to get just from process elimination. Tanish, what's up? 6:30 to 7:40. That's a huge jump, man. That's a huge jump. That's huge. Good job. That's all you, but I'm glad I could assist in the process. Do you mind sharing, Tanish, like a technique or a keyword or a concept that really like stuck with you from my videos? The Arctic Garden in Norway and the other garden are two of many botanical gardens around the world dedicated to growing diverse plant species, both native and non-native. Oh, it's a list. Species, both native and non-native. List 1, list 2, list item 2, fostering scientific research and educating. Cool. Moving on. Like, when did the SAT get all so, like, why are they getting off on the semicolon lists all of a sudden? It's like all over the place now. Like, we don't. Anyway, Hammurabi achieved much during his 40-year reign. He conquered all of Mesopotamia. Sure. Today, though, he is mainly remembered for his laws. Yep. In her poetry collection, Rita Dove interweaves the stories with broader narratives. We get Thomas's journey, for example, from the south in the broader Great Migration, but we also get this Beulah against the broader, in addition. So also similarly, Beulah is different from Thomas. Similarly, that works. We get Sutirat Larlarb. Sutirat Larlarb. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Is that a Thai name? It sounds Thai. For example, for the film Sunshine. Sunshine. Hang on. She designed a golden spacesuit and had a factory reproduce it in a few Oh, I've actually seen this before. That's typically custom fits. However, for this one, she actually lacked. Right, she actually didn't do. Nevertheless, or I guess that's the only one that works. Sleepy. Wait, how close am I to the end? I'm on the last question. I have 6 minutes left. Astronomers estimate that the number of comets is in the billions. One comet is 81P Wild. And it used to be between Uranus and Jupiter. Now it's between Jupiter and Mars. Make and support a generalization about the orbits of comets. Well, the generalization is that there are many. Oh, I see. Many comets have changed their orbits over time. May change over time. That's a generalization. And then we're trying to support it. Yeah, that's D. Support is kind of an interesting word. We want to make and support a generalization about the orbits, but I guess that is supporting. It's general enough that's true. I was thinking illustrate would be a better word, make and illustrate, but fine. That works. I guess I should review this one question. Let me just do that real quick. Not by focus. Okay, this on Wazer sought to remedy this deficiency not by solely focusing on modern African artists, but by showing how their modern African artists' work fits into a larger global modern art and art history. Now, what I was struggling with is this and. Like, am I supposed to read that as like two different concepts, or am I supposed to combine that into one concept? And that made this a lot harder. Now, let me just double check all of these. As a curator, one of the largest, that's off topic, right? Now, over here, Onwezer brought works by African artists, such as one person, together with pieces by major artists from other countries. That's global modern art. Not necessarily, but art history is a little iffy there. Sure. So am I allowed to combine that into one idea here? And then we have Onwezer showed how history influenced African artists, but not global art. So that's wrong. And then over here, Onwezer organized this thing, not to emphasize, but the broad ways, that's methods. So that's off topic. So I think I'm done. We're done. I feel like Tanish is either writing a full-on essay or did not hear anything. He did not hear my request. All right, I'm gonna skip math because I'm embarrassingly bad at it. Yes, I am Korean. Yes, I used to be good at math, like really good at math. And no, I no longer am. It's shocking that I used to do like multivariable calculus in college. Anyway, let's go find my score. You know, I'm just generally unsatisfied, you know what I mean? But I keep giving the same feedback every single time, so let's go and watch. Let's go see my score. Give me a second. Let me log in on my not my phone, on my computer, and I'll share my score in just a moment. Weird. It doesn't seem to be showing up right now. Wait, do I need to click on this button or something? Can I? Well, I'm pressing view your score, but it's not responding. So let me hit return to home. View my responses. Oh, you know what it is? Okay. Now, this should show up on my screen now. Yes, there we go. I got 1,000 obviously because my math was 200, but here's my 1,000 and here's my 800. Like I said, it was not my first time seeing some of those questions because I've solved the linear PDF practice tests, but I didn't really remember the questions that well, or the answer choices at all. I remembered the passages to some extent, so the sort of benefit that I got was that it was easier for me to reread it because I kind of roughly remembered what the passage was talking about. I did not remember those answers at all. So I was kind of solving the answers again. I was eliminating the answers again. I was matching the answers again, for the first time, or it felt more or less like the first time. I guess if you really wanted to handicap me, I probably should have, cut down my time from 32 minutes to 29 minutes or something. I don't know, but I did both sections well within time. So anyway, if I got 800, it means I got nothing wrong. So I did good. All right. So back to me. All right, guys, that was the Blue Book practice test number 4. My impression on the College Board official practice tests is more or less solidified. Right now, the tests that they're coming out with are way too easy. When I say way too easy, I don't mean I don't mean you're all gonna just get the right answers all the time. I think it's actually, many of you guys are gonna make mistakes, and what's gonna happen is with the current level of the test, what happens is if you make a single mistake, your curve the curve is so brutal, your score drops so much. So I would say that the current SAT is actually harming anyone who kind of deserves a 780, 770, 760, 750, and 740, because the actual score, isn't fine-grained enough to capture your ability. It just sort of jumps over from 800 to 770 to 740. And basically a single mistake, if you are somebody who is smart enough to be at the level of 750, if you just make a mistake, right? On the current SAT, the paper SAT, you can expect your score to not be 750, but 740 maybe. But on this one, a single mistake could suddenly lead you to 720. It's so unforgiving. So I don't think this is they need to have a lot more harder questions, a much bigger pool of harder questions, and then kind of slam you with all these hard questions, and you're going to be allowed to get a couple wrong and still get your 750 or the score that you deserve, because we've given you a battery of questions that can determine that you're around 750 level. When we have an adaptive test format, we should actually give more hard questions so that we could be more fine-grained. Right now it's just we're in 16-bit. We're 8-bit colors right now. You know what I mean? It's not very precise. It's too easy. Too many easy questions, not enough hard questions, specifically. So, Yeah. In the future, what I expect the College Board to do is they're going to start getting increasingly more difficult on the vocabulary, and they're going to get increasingly more difficult. But I think they won't take it too crazy with this one because they really shouldn't. But they will get increasingly more difficult with the grammar, and then some of the logic questions where you have to sort of think about the if and thens and all that stuff. Like, is this a sufficient condition for this other? Like, you're gonna sort of have to be like a little mini lawyer because some of these questions are gonna get really logically twisted, and it'll get very, very hard. So those questions I think are gonna be the ones that everyone trembles over in the Reddit subchannel, in the subreddits. Because there's gonna be some like really messed up, really twisted, difficult vocabulary and logic questions, with a smattering of like really difficult grammar questions, and they're gonna have to bring these out because right now the curve is way too insensitive to the people who kind of deserve to be at like 790, 780, 770. It just sort of disregards all of them just because of a couple mistakes that you might make. So that's my view on what's going to happen. I think a year from now we're going to see practice tests that are twice as hard as this. And when I say practice tests, I mean like release tests that are like twice as hard as this. So it's hard to generalize the lessons on how to take the digital SAT when I'm pretty sure they're going to change it. When I'm pretty sure they're going to make it harder. So if you subscribe and if you keep following, the kind of advice that I'm going to give, I'm going to mainly give advice on the assumption that it's going to be a lot harder than it is now, because I think it's unsustainable. So, keep that in mind. That's just off the top of my head. Have nothing else to say other than Happy New Year, everyone. 2023. Kick some ass. Have a very, very bright and promising year for yourself and your family and your life. Peace. See you guys in the next one.